All right, everybody, you know the drill. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and skip a couple minutes till I get everything set up here. Let my peeps know. All right. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone had a good weekend and is having a good start to their week. So we got what we were looking for. Let's go ahead and talk about that. So on the previous stream, we were hanging around. I always forget the dates. I believe it was Friday the 8th. All right, so last time we talked, last time I was on here, we were in this region. And the main setup I was focusing on was this ABC here. All right, and that entry was at about 21,875-ish, 880, around there. And I was looking for some sort of downside turn. Now, the question is, do we bottom out and kind of have a bigger pullback before continuing up, or we go for lower? My personal opinion, this looks like a straight shot. And based on the bigger structure, which I'm looking at here, I'm primarily looking for one more leg down based off of this A, this B, and this C. Just a little bit zoomed in for you guys. How's the volume on the music on your end? Is it too loud? I think I got a good volume last time. Hopefully that's good. But anyway, we talked about this bigger ABC, and I was looking for one more leg down to possibly complete the bear market, or at least have things cool off for a while, and then looking for some more sideways action. It really depends. I'm not too sure what's going to happen, but based off of what I see, this looks like the most sense, in my opinion. Especially how far this one leg has gone down already. We didn't have any significant break of trend, any significant pullback to the upside to show some sort of strength. But so until we get that, I am aiming for that below that 17,500 or 17,600. So I'm currently holding that. Let's move on to, well, actually, no, hold on. Before I move on, you know, I'm not going to sit here and try to play too far into the future, but you guys know, or if you don't know, let me explain. The only way I would look to take along is if two things happen. One, if we get a lower low past the 17,600, or if I see a significant, well, not significant, but I see a structure that's along the same size as something to this. So something that's relatively the same size as this. And for me, something like this does look like a good enough or a big enough structure, or a structure that's a good size to compare as something that could turn into a bigger A, a bigger B, into a bigger C. And I could sit here and draw ABCs all day, but we'll try to do my best to take it one step at a time, not try to come up with too many ideas, and kind of just let the setups form. So until that happens, I'm chilling in shorts. I have no reason to take longs. I have no reason to take profits. And that's basically the way I'm going. That's what I'm looking at. Besides that, that's it for BTC. Let's move on to ETH. So I thought about this since the last time we talked. Like I said, we were up here. And primarily, I wanted to see something like this to complete the bigger A to a B to a C, similar to BTC. But unfortunately, it did not happen. We got some sort of double top formation here, and you hate to see it. I wasn't too sure where I wanted to take the short from. I was debating on two different spots. I was debating on the smaller one here, something like that, or which I ended up going with the latter with this decision. Oh, God. I ended up taking a short based off of this ABC. And the reason why I chose to do that is because this structure is more significant, in my opinion, than the smaller one. And the regions were so close together that I said, you know what, I'm going to attempt that 1194 region. So I did get an entry off of the 1195, 1194 area. I'm still currently holding short. Now, ETH is a little bit of a different story when it comes to the bigger structure. There's two different ways that I can see this going. One is similar to BTC. Now I'm looking for an A to a B to a C. Now, since we did not get that higher high, we did not form that bigger structure. So if you're going to play based off of the actual pattern itself and the rules that we kind of follow with the ABC pattern or ABC strategy, is since it did not break the origin of the A, you could technically long from the 992 area, since this is going to be a bigger A to a B to a C. The only reason why I'm not putting too much weight on that decision itself is because BTC did put in that bigger structure at the, what was that? The 21 or 22.5 area. So that bigger ABC did form. So I'm not really leaning towards the latter when it comes to ETH. I'm primarily sticking to the idea that I want to see lower lows past 882. Oh, David Tech. How's it going, buddy? Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. How are you doing, David? I'm a fan of the channel. I do like watching your perspective on things and how you come up with all these indicators and stuff. It's very interesting. I really do love watching. I appreciate you stopping by, though. So let's keep going here. LTC. Okay, so LTC is a little different than ETH and BTC. I do see the gigantic structure on a 1 hour here. And that is all within the ABC within this final C leg, which I'm calling it. So for me personally, how I would be playing this is a slightly different because the levels and basically the variation of the structure what we're looking at is slightly different compared to ETH BTC. So what are the options for LTC in case you guys are in some sort of LTC position or you guys are looking to get into one? Now we do have this ABC structure on a bigger time frame here. So this technically would be the point of where you would be shorting, but within the C wave, I like to find its own ABC. So within the C wave, A to a B to a C. And ideally, that would have been the point of where you've been shorting at, that 56.21 level. Now, this is a little bit different because I do see something that's a little bit bullish. But mind you, I'm going with what I said before, is for BTC, I'm primarily looking for a lower low. Now, you guys can take this if you want. In my opinion, this is a good enough structure, perspective-wise, to actually take a position on. Just tread lightly because of what BTC and ETH are have the ability to do, if that makes sense. So me personally, I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna look for something like this where I'm gonna probably play something within the C leg, something like that. The ideal scenario would be a drop past that $40, 41 region. Does it have to get there? No, it has a long way to go, but that's the ideal scenario I see for LTC, and that's where I'd be looking to take a bigger term macro long. If even picking up some spot there would be not a bad idea. That's just me though, not financial advice. This is just my opinion. Let's see. Of course, buddy. Alan Clark, good evening. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. How you doing today? Wait for the lower low as well. It's working out. The shorts are playing out in our favor. It's a good time to be sitting in shorts. It is taking its time, but like I said before, we had no significant break in trend, so let's just see what happens. Let's go to XRP. XRP, a little bit of a messier structure. I don't like how it's just a straight shot down, straight shot up, and then we do have this ABC structure here on a larger time frame. Me personally, I do see an ABC within the C. It could reverse at that 30-48 region. That's the level to look out for if you're going to try to take longs on this. But I personally probably wouldn't touch this until you get back down below that 28-68 region. So there's really no short setup to take on XRP since we last talked. I mean, you do have that. Did that put a higher high? Yeah, but I don't like how zoomed in I have to go or get into that little area of price action just to find a position. So me personally, I wouldn't have taken a short. This could be something to where A, B, something like that. I'm just spitballing here. That's a variation of it. So until that happens, there's a couple ways you can look at this, but me personally, I would not look to get into any position until I get to that 2865 area on XRP. Let me just mark that out for you guys. I did not do that in the last two. I'll go back and do it again. I'm going to mark this green for a long. Yep, I've gotten shorts in ETH and BTC. It's good to hear. Good to hear, Alan. We're all sitting here on shorts, just enjoying our time. Good to see. Love to see it. Let's do one more. So those are I'll mark out the areas for you guys if you want to, if you guys are watching this or if you guys are watching this live with me, just keep an eye out for those. BCH. To me, I would probably, there was a short, kind of choppy, but you do have this ABC here. You would have had a little bit of a hard time. Would you have? Yeah, you would have got stopped out quite a bit. But that would have hit if you guys were playing BCH. You don't have that much more to go, to be honest. That 96.85 area is actually a good area to be bullish on if we do get back below there. That's primarily it for BCH. This is one of the quote-unquote cleaner structures that I see. Gives you a little bit more of a straightforward answer. So if you guys are looking to take some sort of long on BCH, I would personally wait until we get back below that 96.80, 96.85 area. All right, let's go on to XMR. Oh, okay. XMR is very different. Let's see. What do you use as a stop loss, Johnny? So it depends on the coin, David. I primarily trade ETH and BTC. BTC is always 1% on chart. 1% on chart. On ETH, it varies. I play anywhere between that 1% to 1.5. And it depends on where I'm looking to take the trade off of. If it's something that's a larger structure, I might use a little bit more of a stop loss, just because that area might be a little bit more volatile. As you can see with BTC, you did have that area of volatility where you kind of came up and test this level a few times before you ended up making a decision. It varies, like I said, scenario. The minimum, or the riskiest I will use is a 1% on chart for ETH. Everything else, if I'm like doing BCH, Monero, Cardano, I probably use around like a 2%. That's just me personally. I just don't like keeping up with too many positions, especially if I do want to take multiples. You know, I don't want to have to worry about maintaining a 1% stop loss on chart, you know, on 5-6 different coins. I probably merely focus on ETH and BTC. And yes, I'll use a little bit less risk on those smaller coins, while also using that slightly bigger stop loss gives a little bit more room so you don't have to worry about it as much. I kind of don't put too much focus and attention on the smaller coins, if that makes sense. So just ballpark 1 to 1.5% on chart. Mostly, sometimes 2.5. Like if I use, like for example, KDA, I'll use like a 2.5. I haven't traded KDA that much recently. I've tried trading it with a 1%. It's just too hectic for me personally. It's too hectic. For me, I'll take a hit on the R&R because have other positions that I'm primarily focusing on. So hopefully that answers your question, David. I think I always tell people, like, hey, figure out what suits you. You know, if you're able to sit at a computer all day and have easy access to Bybit in the charts, go ahead and use a 1%. Don't go below that. I've been there to where I tried using 0.5%. It's too much. I lost a good amount of money doing that, between getting stopped out too many times and not being on top of positions. So I think 1% is a good sweet spot for most people. Thanks, buddy. Me too. I trade BTC and ETH mainly. Yeah, that's the way to go, David. Definitely the way to go. All right, where was I on? I think it was on... Okay, Monero. So Monero is a little different. Very interesting, actually. I haven't looked at this, well, since we last talked, but it looks like it wants to come up and put a bigger structure. Before it does that, I want to see something like this. Another reason why I say that, and let me just clear this up for you guys, is you did not put a higher high at 134.25. That's your main pivot. And you do have a structure that's a decent size. The A is at the 120.50 area. So something to look out for. This is very interesting. The other scenario is very similar to ETH. Is me personally, since you did not put that higher high, there's always a possibility of it doing something like this. That's the other variation. So let me mark this out for you, in case you guys are interested. I would short if you get back above, or sorry, if you get above and then back below 134.35. If you want to try to play into that, you can. If you're gonna do that, you know, tread lightly, because the general direction of the market, just as me personally. A good area to try to do that is at the 120.50 area. And if price does not hold that and it wants to come down and put in that larger structure, there's two levels you can take a long off of. And the reason why I say you can take a long off of this area compared to what I said on ETH is, to me, XMR has a lot more to go. And if BTC and ETH is going to come down and put that lower low, there's a good chance that it can either reverse somewhere in between, or it's more likely, and it makes more sense to me to try to take along on 108.10. All right. So the 108 area, and if that fails, the ultimate macro ABC is going to be at 96.55. And the structure for that looks like this. Something like that. So those are the areas to keep an eye on for. Obviously, I marked the longs in greens, shorts in red. And I kind of like this structure. When you like kind of understand where I'm coming from and when I come up with these plans or these trade ideas, you can get a clear-cut picture of where it makes sense to long and short. So I really like this format. Let's go on to ADA. Cardano. Oh, okay. Let's make sure I have this right before. Okay. Very interesting. Let's go back to an hour. So, Cardano's in a gigantic ABC. Now, in order to see this, I have to go to like a 4-hour. A to a B to a C. All right. So, if you guys were going to be macro bullish, I would say the level to get in at is at $40. Sorry, it's not $40. 4013 region. That is your macro pivot, or your macro A, the area where you want to be looking to take longs off on the larger term. Now, we're doing this live. This is happening real time, folks. You have a opportunity to take a long based off of this ABC at 4205. But since we're kind of dancing around in this region, me personally, the one at the level at that 40 cent region makes the most sense. But just in case it dances and never puts in that lower low, you can go ahead and try to take that at 4205. I wouldn't be too eager to jump into it right away, though. Just me personally. So ADA is actually looking like a decent sized macro slash bigger spot position if you guys are looking to buy some ADA. Those are the levels I'll be looking to pick some up at. Don't be afraid to buy some. In between this region, you know, if you guys are looking to pick this up on spot, obviously the goal isn't to be exact, but I think this is a good area to pick some up at. I actually really like this setup on Cardano. If I do play this on leverage, and I probably gonna use a little slightly bigger stop loss, like I mentioned before, probably 2.5%, just to give it some wiggle room, because this is gonna be a macro position. So that's something to look out for. Definitely keep your eyes out on that. Let me just mark that out for you guys. Okay. Solana. Solana is... okay. So, yeah. All I'm seeing, primarily, I want to look for the ideal longer term bigger position. It's going to be this bigger ABC at 25.75. All right. Now, the variations of this, there's different possibilities. One, you could come up and put one more high in. If that is going to do that, me personally, I think it's going to come down lower and do something like this. That's what I would be looking for personally. If you do want to aim towards the somewhat more bullish side, or if price does want to come up, that's the structure I like most. If that $30 88 region does not hold, I'm gonna be looking for the next macro pivot here is that 25.81 region. And if you can get it back above for the short side, and let's say price does come up, and let's say we bounce from here. If price come up to that 42.93 area or 94, I would take a short off of that once you get back above and then come back below to form a bigger ABC structure before possibly heading back down lower. Or, you know, it could be some sort of pullback to just, you know, form a much larger change in the market in general. Just my opinion. So, KDA is in a very similar situation. I would not be looking to take anything long wise until you get back below that $1.33 or $1.33, $1.43. Looks like $1.43. All right, $1.35. Let's see. All right, $1.35. If you cannot get that low, the only other long opportunity I can possibly see working out, or at least worthy of playing, is going to be this ABC here, based off this structure. But when I see these kind of clusters of different supports, I will try my best to focus on the lowest one. That's just me personally. Sometimes you can get caught up in the chop if you're trying to play ones that aren't the exact bottom. So that's just the way I handle viewing these kind of setups on these smaller cap coins. Just my opinion. You guys can try it. It's a legitimate region. I'm not going to knock you if you do. Let's change these colors up. All right. Oh, XTZ. One more, guys. All right, XTZ has been putting in decent structures on larger term time frames. Like, you had a beautiful short setup on XTZ. I'm gonna give a shout out to Josh, my buddy of mine, who pointed this out to me. I usually don't look at stuff like this, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes coins like this, that was the perfect entry. I wonder if you wouldn't got stopped out using a 1%. Let's just see. You wouldn't got stopped out maybe once, and you'd be sitting at about a 13 right now. That's a good size structure for me. So for XTZ, the only level I see that suits me and what I find to be comfortable is that $1.93 region. Now, of course, price can come in and do something like this. Absolutely, and turn this into a bigger A to a bigger B to a bigger C. Very similar to what BTC can do. Now, if I do see that come up on a larger time frame, I will hedge. I'm not taking profits, I'm hedging. So, wherever that decides to come to fruition, wherever, if it wants to keep going down here, I'm just looking for some sort of structure that's relative to the size of this one. So that's pretty much it. I'll mark these levels out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you guys. So if you guys have any questions for me, now'll be the time to shoot your shot. If you guys want me to look at something, I can definitely do that for you. But besides that, we're just kind of gonna hang out for a little bit. We got over the TA. So, we're sitting pretty. Let me show you guys the account quick. Hope it doesn't fuck with my audio or with the music. For some reason, a VPN does not like this music website that I use. Does not like a VPN. Okay, I thought I was signed in. Come on. It's just loading on me. Derivatives. Read margin. No. Derivatives. Virtual. All right. So let's see. Sitting in decent profit. The account is sitting at like $1,500 right now. Right? Yeah, 1502. So we kind of been bouncing around like a 13 to 1700. Starting from $500, not bad in a bear market. You know, at peak we were sitting at like around $3,000. So not the best, but still doing good. Keep on trucking. I'm going to try to keep this to around like 45 minutes today, folks. See. Alan Clark, do you have a strategy for taking profit? So it depends. I used to use always seem to cash in too early. So that is a problem I know people do have sometimes, and it really depends on the system you use. The biggest thing I see when people do that is when they use the 0.5 to 0.441 fib area. So like usually you would take profit, and it's not a bad place to take profit. Primarily, I like to think ahead. So what I mean by that is I focus on not, well, how do I say this? I focus on looking at the bigger structure and kind of planning the next area it wants to get to. Oh, I'm starting to get cold. So what I mean by that. So I'm in a short, and without anything on my screen, without anything looking at the bigger term, what do I see? Me personally, I see that this looks like an A to a B to a C. Very similar to what happened up here in this region. A to a B to a C. Now up here, you know, obviously I'm not going to sit here and say that I was going to hold this all the way to the bottom. No, that's not true. How I structured my take profit when I was playing this structure is I was looking for a potential reversal in on a bigger trend or in a bigger area, bigger market, bigger time frame, regardless of how this about perspective. So what I mean by that, I was looking at this as an A to a B to a C. So when we got down to this area, I kind of debated. I was like, all right, we're putting in that bigger structure. We can bottom out here. Doesn't mean we will, but we can. So this is when I kind of zoomed in into a smaller time frame, and I thought to myself, okay, where do I see a structure that could be a possible reversal? On this time frame, you don't really, but I'll just tell you this. It was this area here. So once we got formed an ABC there, I decided to take profit on that short. Because for me, this was a potential reversal area to at least come up and test this area, if not be a full-blown market trend reversal. I don't you know, I can't sit here and say that was the best move, but it was a smart move for me. And that's all that matters. So I'm approaching this very similarly. Is I am not going to be too quick to take my profits, because I know that the possibility of the market putting in a lower low and having another leg down is more likely than not. Now, I'm kind of elaborating a little bit more here, but this is how I think. Is I do see a potential in understanding that since this was a continuation down and we just didn't bottom at the ABC here, we're approaching lower lows. And to me, I don't necessarily have an idea where this bear market can end, but I know that the further we go down, the more likely it is that we find a bottom. Make sense? So as we continue down further, I'm going to be less likely to hold on to shorts longer, because I know that the probability of prices reversing on a bigger scale are a lot higher. So I'm going to hold my shorts until I see a bigger structure like this. All right. And if I don't see that right away, what I'll do is I will wait for the medium-sized structure to come in case this is just a pullback, and I will hedge long and ride it to the upside. And that does secure your profit, because what it does is it allows the profit from the long to not take away from the profit from the short, if that makes sense. So, and you know, there's nothing wrong with, I know if you listen to me, you probably listen to Kite. Kite doesn't like taking partials. I believe you can do that. I don't necessarily think you should always do that. I think don't be afraid to take profit, partial profit, but if I do that, I'm using the same mindset. So if I do want to take partial profit, I'm looking for the bigger structure, and I'll take profit if I get that wick back above the A, just in case. But you're already so deep that it's going to help secure a little bit. And if you want to let the rest ride, you can. And worst case scenario, if you're wrong, you still walk out with a little bit on top, because you weren't going to give up that position anyway. So it really depends on the scenario. I personally think that it's better to look into playing into the next structure. That was a very long way of answering that question, Alan, but I hope that helped. Let me know if you need me to clarify anything. Trevor, sorry I'm late. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, man, I'm doing really good. I'm doing good. I appreciate you stopping by. Hope you're doing well, man. Thanks, John. I love watching others trading ABC. Kite has made all of us so much money. I gotta go here. It's like 2 a.m. Have a great day. I appreciate you stopping by, David. Kite showed us the way. We're here to make some money on the ABCs. We're all having a good time. Hope everyone's doing well. But David, I really appreciate you stopping by, saying hello, having a conversation. I hope you have a good night. Hope to see you soon. I use fair value gaps to help me predict and take my profits. Okay. I'll look into that. Great. Makes sense. I pretty much got the same two shorts as you on BTC and ETH. Okay. Yeah. So we're chilling right now. We're chilling. Am I caught up on chat? Yeah, I think I'm all caught up. But thank you for the question, Alan. I really do appreciate you. Big vibing in these shorts. I'm in ETH, BTC, and Aave. Oh, I haven't heard that name in a while, Trevor. Been a very long time since I've heard that name. On my little list. I want to see where you... Oh, that's solid, Trevor. That's a solid short. You're sitting pretty. Good job, man. Yeah, guys. So if you guys are watching here, hanging out, go check out David's channel, man. He does a really good job at taking certain strategies and certain ideas, like trading ideas, and basically trying to make them into an indicator or automate them. And I find it really cool. So let me just pop it. So if you guys watch me, David does a really good job at programming indicators. And let me just pop his channel out here. Definitely go check him out. He does a lot of videos on the ABC. He does a lot of different strategies. So I think it's definitely something to look into, especially if you're experimenting with different ideas and different strategies. So I'm gonna shout out David. Thank you so much, David, for stopping by. Appreciate you, buddy. Definitely go check him out. David is dope. I don't know anything about programming, but I enjoy his content. Yeah, I don't know. I always found programming interesting, but I feel like I'm too stupid to understand that. coding languages. I can barely speak English sometimes, so. Same, my smooth break can't handle it. I could, how do I say this? If I got into it when I was like 18, 19, I definitely would have attempted to try to learn coding. Especially in crypto, you should see what some of these salaries on some of these crypto developers, project developers can make. It's fucking stupid. And you sit there and just work from home all day. These guys are making $250,000. CPI tomorrow will be interesting. I bet there'll be tons of volatility just back and forth, especially leading up before. I can tell you that always like half an hour before anyone even speaks, there's going to be definitely some movement. We'll see what happens. Is that at 2 o'clock, Trevor? I feel like they always do it at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. Let's look it up. What is it, like meeting? Or conference? Press conference? Oh, it's first thing in the morning. Oh. Oh, it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to be waking up to some probably a shit show if I had to guess. Yeah, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are on the West Coast, you're going to be waking up to some... Either nothing's going to happen or it's going to be some sort of... I would say it's probably going to continue. Yeah, if people talk, it'll go all day, I feel like. Damn it, I'm in the West Coast. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with these meetings and how they go. I have alerts going off of 5D. Jesus Christ, man. That's 1:30 p.m. for me. Oh, so you'll be awake. I'll be on my way to work. Sometimes it's nuts. Let's see what happens. You know what? Let's do something a little different. Spy. So on the spy, I want to see one more leg to at least 372, or it can come up and break past 393. The options for the spy, kind of shorter the midterm, is I'm looking for either a high past 393.29 to short, or if you get back down to 372.39, if not 362.30 to long. Be bullish on the spy. That's just me though. So we'll come back on Thursday and see how we did. It was change. Sometimes I have alerts at 2 a.m. and 5:30. Jesus. 24 time I can able to do that. Yeah, no, I agree, Trevor. I try to sleep as much as I can. So let's keep an eye out on the, see what the spy wants to do tomorrow. Dow Jones, same thing. I would go short if you get back below. Actually, let's do the longs first. That's basically the levels I'd be looking for. Long and short off of. Something a little different. All right, folks. I'm actually going to cut it in a little bit. Unless you guys have any more questions for me. It's hot. I got to take a shower. I feel sticky. Oh, my neck. So, I got some stuff to do. I got to eat. I pretty much got home. I had to do some stuff and came right on here. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and just give you a quick little recap in case you guys are just tuning in. Pretty much I'm short. I don't plan on taking profits. I'm looking ultimately for a lower low past 17,595. If price does want to form some sort of larger structure here in between, I will take a hedge long depending on where it wants to break, but we don't know yet. But until then, we're cruising to the downside on the short side. So let's see. Hopefully we get an answer in the next couple of days, at least by the time we get in, to see if it's something else different. But that's pretty much it. Nope. All good. Have a good night and good luck tomorrow with your positions. Let the odds be in your favor. Thank you, Trevor. I appreciate you, buddy. Hope to see you soon. Have a good night. All right, guys. So that's about it. Everything else very similar. If you guys are looking for something on that list, TA wise, just go back. If you're watching the replay and you made it this far, I really appreciate you. Like the video, comment if you haven't, and if you're not a subscriber, I really appreciate you guys subscribing. I try to be on here at least twice a week, sometimes more. Pretty active when I can be. If you guys are interested in learning more from me or having trouble, or you just want to get into a community where you get access to me, I do have my own private Discord. And within the Discord, I'm going to show this because it's been a while since I have. In the Discord, I do have access to real-time setups from me. I do also make tutorial videos where I've done tutorial videos for the ABC method. Basically going through what you need to from soup to nuts, chart-wise. I don't know why none of this is loading. I do have trading psychology videos as well, to where we do talk about things that aren't chart related, the things that you guys really need to focus on to be in order to be a good trader. And pretty much that's it. You get, you know, we do have a couple people here who do chime in, give their thoughts every once in a while. I don't know why none of this is loading. I hope you guys are still here with me. So until then, check out the link in the description below in case you guys are interested. But if not, I will catch you guys on the next episode, where the next time we're on, hopefully Thursday. If not, I do my best to make it at least twice a week, so it's probably gonna be Thursday, Friday, but I'm gonna aim for Thursday. So until then, be good, be safe. Hope you guys are sitting in shorts. If you are, you're in a good spot. If not, no worries. There's always another opportunity. Be good, be safe, create a plan, stick to the plan, trade the plan, use good risk management. I could sit here and give you guys good advice all day. So be good, be safe. Until then, have a good night, everyone. Oh, Alan, thank you. Cheers. Thank you for stopping by as well. All right, folks. Good night.